Yo YouTube, what is going on everybody? Hope you've all been having an absolutely fantastic weekend, a fantastic end to your trading week. And what do I have for you guys today? Well, do you know what? I got probably something that I think every single trader really wants to know. Okay, so I'm going to be telling you guys how you can massively reduce the amount of losses that you're taking, because for a lot of you guys, you might be in that big portion of traders where you seem to be winning a lot but then losing away, losing a hell of a lot more, or you seem to be having those periods where you do pretty well, but then why is it always met with just so much drawdown? Okay, so what I want to do is break this video down into 3 parts. I want to simply talk about losses in general, people's opinions towards them, and how you can shift your view into losses. Then I want to simply speak about the kinds of situations you're probably finding yourself in, right, when it comes to your losses, and see if you can relate to any of these things. And then the last bit is just basically what I'm going to show you to be able to mitigate those losses. So if that sounds like something you guys want to get involved with, this is the kind of content that I push out almost 4 times a week. Hit that subscribe button, drop me a like, and when the video is finished, please send me a comment to let me know how I did. And also I want to give a little prize to somebody. I promise you, I will pay somebody, I will PayPal them £5 if they can guess where this lo-fi track is from. Okay, I'm going to have it playing in the back of the video. Always like to listen to some nice, cool, chilled out jams. So let's have a nice chilled out session. It's probably quite an easy one for a lot of you guys out there, but I'm not going to say what genre it is, but let's just have a chill session and let's get those losses down for you guys. So the first thing that you guys have really got to understand about losses, okay, I'm specifically talking to these guys now who are trying to get their first payout, seem to be struggling a lot. Those guys who seem to be blowing challenges, kind of just thinking to themselves, what is wrong with my strategy? Why does it always go so well? Why is it going so crap all the time? Why do I always have this massive amount of losses? Well, I think the first thing that you guys have got to shift, like the perspective shift that you guys need to have, first of all, is to, I know it sounds very cliche, but you got to work with me. You really do have to change your perception of losses. Okay, there's probably a big portion of traders out there that are tying their self-worth or their trading identity to the amount of losses that they're taking, and their trading abilities to the amount of losses that they're taking, and that's a really dangerous thing to do. Okay, because your ability to trade genuinely has nothing to do with the amount of losses. Your genuine ability to trade and the level of trader that you are is not defined by your results. Well, your results eventually will show the fortitude of yourself, but that won't come from the strategy. The reason why you get those amazing results is your ability to handle yourself through those very frustrating times and those very good times, okay? The losses is simply a byproduct of a random outcome. So whether you guys really understand this notion about trading, you've probably heard it around, but you really have to understand this, okay? The market is random. Every single outcome is random. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean that it's what you guys probably think it means, okay? What you guys probably think it means is, well, it could be obviously it could be up or down. We just don't know until the day happens, but there are specifically some techniques that we can do. So, why is it I see so many of these other traders winning so much? And why is it seeming that, I'm always losing? And how is it really a random game if I'm majority of the time losing? Okay, let me break this down for you very, very simply. When you have a dice, the statistics of getting 1 out of that dice is 1 out of 6. The statistics of getting a 3 is 1 out of 6. And the statistics of getting 5 is also 1 out of 6. Okay? But every single time that you throw the dice, you don't know what's going to happen. It is simply random. Okay? That's what we mean by random. Is that, well, you guys probably understood that, but for those of you who don't really know, it just means that, the outcome doesn't have a set sort of criteria behind it, or there's any kind of, certainty, I guess, that it's going to happen. The same way as a coin flip. It's always random. And the same is true with the market. Every single time you put a trade on, it is simply random. Okay? But then how are you able to make money consistently in a game that is completely random? Well, this is where your edge comes in. So if you are able to test over a certain number of times or certain number of trades that you are able to apply this strategy to a random output system, and you will have seen that your results are profitable over time, then that basically means that even though the outcomes are random, you will be able to make money. So when you put a trade on and it loses or goes break even or reverses against you or hits your stop loss and runs to profit, blah, 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 it's all outcome. It's all random. It's got nothing to do with you and your analysis. You guys just have to make sure that you're being 1,000,000% consistent. Okay, and I'm here to tell you guys that trading is actually more hard than it is easy. You're going to feel more uncomfortable than you are going to feel easy. But that's what you're expected, because it's going to be your fortitude that pulls you out of that situation. So now that you really understand that about losses, you just know that it's nothing to do with you. It's got nothing to do with your strategy. Okay, I admit, if you are just taking loads of losses, then you just have to put it into perspective that, okay, this is just my system probably. If I'm genuinely not doing anything wrong psychologically, and I'm taking every trade that I'm meant to be taking, and I'm being consistent, and I'm being patient, and I am just not profitable, then sure, you may not have an edge. And that's down to yourself just testing it. But assuming now you have an edge, then those losses, they're just outputs of a random situation. So stop tying it to yourself, guys, okay? Stop feeling bad about it. Stop worrying about it, because I promise you that most of you guys are probably phenomenal traders. You're probably so good at trading, but you let these results dictate how you're actually doing. You guys should feel successful at the input that you're doing, because if you are making sure that you're consistent, disciplined, patient, executing when you need to execute, not being fearful, doing everything within your plan, then you are already in the 10% of traders. I promise you that, whether there's money or no money, because I don't care who you are. You could be George Soros, or maybe not George Soros, but you can be any kind of retail trader who's consistently making money, and you're still going to have losing periods. Remember this, guys, it's not your profits or losses that define you. It is simply your outcome. So, if you are the kind of trader who is doing really well in backtesting, but your live results are kind of shit. If you seem to be having really good results, but then you always seem to be in a big losing streak, and you're worried, why is this losing streak happening to me? If you're the kind of guy who seems to be doing really well on the small account but comes to the challenge and you're just taking loads of losses and always hitting that max drawdown limit. If you are also the kind of guy who is so good at passing challenges, but as soon as the funded account comes, you seem to be getting yourself in drawdown. Drawdown just seems to be a life that you guys seem to be living, if that's the case. Like that, that's how it could feel to you guys. Okay? And you guys have also got to understand this big notion as well, and we're going to go into the technical side of it in a moment, but I just want to put this one thing. If you have a win rate of, say, 20%, 30%, 40%, 50, 60, I do not care what your win rate is. Remember this, and you've seen it on all of the websites before. Past results are not indicative of future results. I've seen so many traders, including myself back in the day, say, yo, I finally got a 50% win rate strategy. I've backtested over 100 trades and 200 trades, and it's no way I can lose that many trades. And then what happens? You go into the live market, you're taking 6-7 losing trades in a row. Now you're saying to yourself, why the fuck is my life so shit? Why am I such a bad trader? Why is this happening to me? Why does it always happen to me? It's all bullshit. Because why? It's a random outcome. And past results don't have any indication of future results. So all you guys got to see is, do I have a working strategy? Okay? And if you're taking loads of losses, don't put it on yourself. Don't put it to the strategy. Don't put it to anything. Just put it to the market being random. And all you got to do is a little bit of risk management. That's all you guys need to do. Because a big part of this game is knowing when to play defense. Knowing when to protect yourself when shit is going a little bit sour. Okay? So remember that. Losses are never going to evade you. Losing streaks are never going to evade you. All you guys have got to focus on is being the best version of yourself so that you're able to consistently execute under the pressure. I don't care what it is, guys. You're going to see your stop loss you're going to see your trade hit stop loss and run all the way to profit. You're going to see yourself be winning all day, then it's going to go back to break even. You're going to have stressful days, you're going to have tough days, but it's never on you. Okay? It's on the market, and it's your ability to handle your risk. So that's what we're going to speak about today. I'm going to show you guys how you can slash your losses. Oops, daisy. Now imagine this. Imagine if you have a system where you win 50 and then you lose 50. Imagine if you have a system where you win 50 and you turn those losses into 30, 40 even, sometimes even 25. What I'm about to show you is how you can massively reduce these losses. Okay, but what I have to also say to you guys is that I have found this out on the 5-minute time frame. Okay, that's the time frame that I mainly trade in terms of my entries. But you guys will have to probably do something else if you trade the 4-hour or the 1 hour or the daily 1 minute, 50-minute. What I'm saying is that what I'm about to teach you has a lot of prowess, but you also have to make sure that this works for yourself, because I understand there's going to be a lot of traders out there that may not understand this. It may work a little bit differently for them, or it just may work perfectly for them. Take what I'm about to tell you, okay, and then you're going to backtest it. All right then. So let's move on to the 5-minute time frame, and let's go to a random point in time. Let's just go back. What looks like nice structure we can trade. Do you know what? This looks okay, because I'm not looking for my trades to be winning, okay? I want it to kind of look a little bit messy, just so I can show you guys, okay? So what I'm going to be telling you guys to do, okay, so this, again, will be different for most people, but assuming that you are trading 5-minute trends, like so, okay? You're also trading trades downward, like so, and maybe you're trading consolidations. Let's just maybe leave consolidations out of the picture for now, okay? So when we're trading the 5-minute time frame, especially the lower time frames, what we're really aiming for, guys, we don't want to see just one candle. We need to see a trend, okay? So we need to see price trending. Okay, so if we don't see price trending, then we got to have some alarm bells ringing in our head. Okay, so let's assume that the way we want to get into our trade, we want to see price move. We don't want to see it fiddle around and mess around, but that's probably what it's going to do. Okay, so what we're going to do, and this is something that you guys can definitely do, and I don't care what time frame it is, I don't care how you trade, if you do what I'm about to tell you, then you are going to take less losses, I promise you. Here it is. Set your stop loss to 60% of wherever you set it originally. I promise you, set your stop loss to 60%, sorry. Okay? And if we take the trade and we see something like this, where we want price to push and it fails to push and it starts coming back, okay, we're going to set it to 40%. If we see something like this where price is coming up, and let's say our entry is around by here, and then price sharply, I'm talking sharply, comes back, we set our stop loss to 50%. If we are trending, okay, sorry, 40%, sorry about that. If we are trending and we see something like this, okay, what I like to call opposing structure, right? A lower high when we're in an uptrend and a higher low when we're in a downtrend, then you're going to set your stop loss to 40%. Now this is, remember, the inverse is true. So we're going to put here failure to push. We're going to put here sharp reversal. And then for this one, we're going to put opposing structure. And this is what I use every single day in my trading, guys. I promise you. Okay? So we set our stop loss to 60% no matter what. And then if we see any of these, okay, if we take a picture, take a screenshot, if we see any of this, let me go ahead and actually type correctly, my bad people, then we are going to set our stop loss to 40% stop loss, okay? So there's going to be a few caveats to this. So just make sure that you're listening intently to what I'm talking about. Okay, and then we're going to just, right now, we're going to go ahead and jump into it. And I'm going to show you guys how this can massively help you. Okay, so not talking too much about how I get into the market and how I trade. I'm going to just go ahead and just trade the trend. Okay, I'm simply going to use market structure and I'm just going to be trading the trend. Okay, and then we're going to put up a little results table just to show you after a certain number of trades how this whole process is going to help you. Okay, Okay, so let me go through the process with you guys. So let's say, for example, this is your trade. Okay, let's say, for example, you put your trade up by here, your stop loss in a decent place. Make sure your stop loss is in a decent place. Decent trade. We're not going for something like this, you know what I mean? Like not something like this. I want you guys to really put your stop loss in a safe place. If you're trading the USD pairs, then I want you to put it around maybe 1 or 2 pips extra to where you'd currently do it. Or if it looks something like this, if you want to do something like that, even something like that. The more the merrier, really, guys. The safer the better. But I like to go in the middle ground and put it to around here. Now, I'm going to roughly do the 60%. So I'm probably going to say 60% is around by here. Let's see if price triggers. Okay, we're going to wait and see now. So what we've seen is that price is looking like it's going to break. It's going to reverse. But there we go. So what it's doing now is that it's pushing, and we're going to hit a 1 to 3 risk to reward target. That would be quite funny. I'm talking about. Okay, awesome. So what we've seen by here, we've seen 2 of those losing criteria. Okay, so we have seen the failure to push and a sharp reversal. You can see price with this candle in the middle right by there. That is very, very sharp. So let's say our 40% is around by, let's say here. Okay, so let's put a tally up. Let's put OG stop loss. Okay, let's put 40% stop loss, and let's also put 60% stop loss, just so we can gather the results. Okay, this is what I want you guys to do, because you guys might be saying, well, I don't really like closing my trades out early, because when I close my trades out early, it always runs back into profit. Trust me, guys, I thought the exact same thing until I found this out. Okay, because how many of you guys have actually seen your trades in the big stop loss range and thinking, yo, I don't like this. Yo, it's looking kind of dodgy. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't look like it's going to go the way I want it to go. Well, and how many times have you said that and it's just smashed into your stop loss? Time and time again, but you don't want to do it because your strategy is telling you that you shouldn't do it. And that's a good thing. Trust me, that's a good thing. But if you can make this work for you, then guys, you will take way less losses. Okay, so this one was a 40% stop loss. Let's go ahead and put X. And what we're going to do is, guys, if we see price has triggered our stop loss, just so that we don't get caught out in missing the move. So if price did want to come down by here, what we want to do, guys, is literally wait for price to come by here. And by watching the 1 minute candles, okay, you just want to see that price is closing around by here. You want to look at the 1 minute time frame. Make sure that the trend is not looking too opposite you, because what you really this is down to you guys, but what you really don't want is price to come in, tap in, and then go back to stop loss. Then you've just taken 2 stop losses for no reason. But if you've seen on the 1 minute time frame, or even better, the 5 minute time frame, we can see that it's respecting structure. We can see that it's closing around our entry. We're going to go ahead and re-enter the trade, and it goes into stop loss again, then don't worry about it. But this is what I want you guys to do, so just listen to me carefully. If you have re-entered the trade, okay, if you've re-entered the trade after taking a 40% stop loss, you will now be setting your stop loss to 60%, and that is it. Okay, and that is it. You don't touch it, you don't do anything like that. If you have taken a 60% stop loss and you have re-entered, you will keep your stop loss at the original. Okay, let's go over that again. We set our stop loss to 60% no matter what. As soon as the trade is set, we set our stop loss to 60%. We plan it as normal. We keep our stop loss there, because I'm going to talk about why this is important, but you're just going to draw a line like so. You're going to calculate what it is, and if you guys don't know how to calculate it, what 60% is, all you've got to do in TradingView is so simple. You just do this number, you times it by 0.6 or 0.4 if you want to do 40%. You're going to change this up. So let's say, I don't know, let's just say, what is it? So you divide it by 5, which is 7, and then I'm basically going to do 3 times 7. So 60% of this is going to be 21. Okay, so that's good. That's what it is, and it already changes it for you. Okay, so you find out where your 60% is, which actually, to be fair, is around by here. Okay, and then you keep that original stop loss right where it was. Was that correct maths? I think it was. Yes, it was. Wait, hang on, no. That was not correct. I said that with so much confidence. I don't know what 45 divided by 5 is. No, it's 9. Sorry about that, guys. So it's yes. So you do 9. It's so much easier if you have a calculator. I'm just doing it by mental maths. Okay. So 45 divided by 5 is 9 times 9 by 3, which is 27. So there we go. That is our 60%. Sorry about that, guys. The old maths brain is coming out. So yeah, that's what you do. You set it there. You've got your 60%. You set it there no matter what. if you see any of the losing criteria that I showed you with that previous diagram, then you're going to set it to 40%. I don't care if it's in profit or whatever it is, just set it to 40%. If you guys go break even and that's your plan, then go ahead and go break even. But if you don't go break even, then follow this, okay? Because this losing criteria can happen by here, it can happen by here, it can happen by here, and it can also happen by here, okay? If price genuinely gets to around this level, I don't know why you're not taking profits out, but you know, some people like to hold to the full TP. I am also one of those people. I have many times seen price come down to here and it shot back up, but that's besides the point. Then if you're going to set break even, then set break even. But if you're not going to do that, then you are going to set it to 40%, okay? And if you re-enter on the 40%, then you're going to set your stop loss to 60%. And once you have if you have re-entered on the 60%, you leave your stop loss as it is. Bloody hell, that was a bit of a mouthful, but I hope you guys wrote that all down, okay? So what you do now is that you're basically, if you've taken either the 40% or the 60%, you're simply waiting to see what price does. Okay, what you ideally want to honestly see is price hit your stop loss, because that's the reason why you close your trade out early, because you don't want to take a full stop loss. Okay, so in this example, price took a full stop loss. Now you go ahead and do whatever it is that you normally do when you take a loss. Okay, and guys, if you haven't taken original stop loss, you will simply follow that process I just told you, okay, until you take 1.6R loss. Okay, the truth is, guys, there's going to be times where you use this and it would be better if you hadn't used it. Okay, but I promise you that majority of the time, okay, play the probabilities game over time. I will prove to you that this will make you lose way less, right, in the long run, thus making you more money. I promise. And if you guys have gone through testing and you're seeing that it's causing you to lose a whole bunch, then sure, this is what works for me. I hope it works for you, but you can find your own stuff to this, okay? Right, moving on then, okay? We are going to basically save these and let's just do a bunch of trades, okay? Let's go ahead and keep on following our process. What do I do? What am I seeing? Okay, I'm seeing price is traveling upwards. So let me go ahead and find some kind of an entry. Okay, then let's go by here. My trade would be by here. Why? Because this is a major high and I want to take a flipping buy off here. I put my stop loss in a decent place as always. I let it be my 60%. Let's see if I can calculate that in my head. I did, because it's 27. I remember that from the previous time. So 27 is right by here. This is exactly the process you guys should follow. You set your 60%. Let's just call it 0.6 just to be easier. You put that back to where it was, okay? And now you're just waiting for price to trigger you in. It's triggered you in. And now what you're going to be doing is waiting for price to do its thing. We want to see price make a new higher high, but we're going to be basically watching to see what it wants to do. Okay, it's looking like it wants to trigger. Hasn't actually hit that level just yet. There we go. Let's wait for it to do its thing. Okay. Damn. Fine. So we took a 60% stop loss. And we also took a full stop loss. Okay. So we're not really honestly caring too much about our winning trade. We just want to see how this can actually help you out. Okay. Let's go ahead and get some more trades under our belt. So we're technically still 1 hour for the day. Let's go ahead and just see what we could do here. Okay, so the next place I want to enter is probably around by here. Okay, did I get that entry? Yes, I did. So let's go ahead and see if this is decent. Yeah, it's not too bad. Okay, there's a bit of a caveat to this I should mention. When you're taking these trades, that loss criteria thing doesn't really work when you've got this big amount of room to play. I really should have mentioned that. That's quite a big point. If you're taking your trades like this, okay, and price has got this structure by here, and you've actually seen that there's a lot less room in this for the stop loss than there is by here, then I would honestly say, guys, this only really works when your entries look like this. Okay, when you've got this, you know, where your entry is, there's not much stop loss, but and where you're the level you're using to protect yourself has a lot of stop loss. Okay, so something like this, it's not going to work. It's going to have to do something like this. Something like this is probably better, to be honest with you, but that's still quite shit. Okay, when you've got this key level that you're trading off, you really don't want your entry to be so high up. You just want it to be as low as you can to this key level. Okay, that's very, very, very good advice right there. As close as you can to the key level. So let's say that this is our trade now, okay? We're waiting for price to do its thing, okay? We're seeing, okay, so we can see that price is failing to break by here. What do? 40% stop loss. Let's just be a bit, okay, so what's this? This is 65 divided by 5 is 11, 12, 13. 13 times by 2 is 36. So 0.4 stop loss is right by here. Okay. So what we're going to do is basically wait and see what price wants to do. Okay. We made that higher high, so we're all good. Okay. What are we going to go for? 1 to 3. What are we looking out for? Okie dokie. We're still going to wait because we want to see price hit that target, but we're still looking at this criteria. So let's just slow it down a little bit. What we can see right there, okay, price has come down, pushed up, and it's failed to break. So we've still got this loss criteria right by here. At this instant, guys, you might want to just close your trade out. Okay, it's so close to profit, it's so close to whatever, but it is what it is. It's fine. I'm just here to show you that, you know, this will stay. If you want to keep the whole trade open, then sure. But in my opinion, I wouldn't be re-entering now. Why don't you want to be re-entering now? Because the situation has changed. Okay, so if price comes down by here, okay, for example, if it takes you out right by, wait for it to take you out, it didn't take you out. But let's say, I mean, it did take you out, but, you know, you didn't get a re-entry. But you don't really want to be re-entering now, okay? For example, if your 0.4 was by there, your 0.4 stop loss was by there, you don't really want to be re-entering this situation because this, for me, this whole trade idea is different. Why? Because I'm trading off the previous higher low, taking the trade upwards. Price has made a new higher high, which basically means that this higher low is a very important level for me, something I call the TDP, the trend defining point. Go and watch that video if you haven't seen it. I'll put a link in the description. It basically tells you how to identify when trends have shifted very, very accurately. Okay, so I'm not going to re-enter there, but look, we took another 40% stop loss. Okay, and what also happened is that I took another full stop loss. Okay, I've saved myself a massive amount, right? Let's close that. Okay, what's the time? I should have mentioned I probably want to stop trading around 2 p.m. or so. Maybe stop. Okay, maybe let's say last positions are around like 1:30 or so. Okay, that was a successful day. Okay, because we've got, you know, we took overall we took 1 loss and then we took 3 losses that would have happened, but we saved ourselves. Instead of losing 3R, we've only lost 1.4 total stop loss. Okay, so let's go ahead and close that. Let's go to the next day. Where are we at? 1, 2, 3, 4. Lovely job. Okay, let's go ahead and look for some trades. What can I see by here? I can kind of see the overall trend has shifted. This is overall kind of bearish. Probably on the 15-minute is bullish, but I'm going to trade the 5-minute by itself. For me, what can I see by here? Very small high and low. Price has come up, broken the trend defining point. There we have a nice break and retest by here. Let's go ahead and set this trade. By the way, guys, this isn't exactly how I trade. I'm just kind of giving you one of my very brief strategies. It's not really working too great right now, but for me, honestly, the trader makes the strategy, right? So don't worry too much about whatever. Okay. Do we get triggered? Do we get triggered? Do we get triggered? Okay. So, okay, what we can see by here is opposing structure. 0.4 stop loss criteria material, right? When we see that opposing structure, remember I said we got a downtrend and we can see a higher low. This is uptrend material, so we're going to change this to 40% stop loss, right? Remember, guys, we always set 60% first. I probably should have just mentioned that. Okay, but then we change that when we see what I call the losing criteria. Why is my phone going off? Awesome. There we go. Awesome. And yeah, so let's go ahead and see. Okie dokie. So I don't know what happened here. I'm going to assume that price came down first and then traveled upwards. So it tapped us in for a 0.4 stop loss. Awesome. Okie dokie. Yes. I was thinking about something there. Sorry about that, guys. Right, we're going to watch. Okay, I was going to say we're going to watch intently. And what happened? Price took another hit to stop loss. Okay, what is the situation by here? Let's go ahead and see. We can see that price is traveling upwards. I'll just do a few more examples because I don't want to waste your time anymore, guys. You can see that the whole thing works. Okie dokie. To be honest with you, this actually looks like a banging trade. Why does it look like a great trade? Because price broke this small uptrend right by here, because this low got broken. When we see a low getting broken like this and a trend defining point getting broken, the higher high that caused that low is now our trend defining point. So this downtrend, very small downtrend right by here, is still made true by this level. So if I see a rejection of this level, then guess what? I'm taking the trade. Okay, put it right underneath the candle. There we go, that's nice. Triggers, triggers, triggers. What can I see? Price failing to break. Okay, let's set the change the 60% stop loss to the 40% stop loss. Put it around by here. Just being very rough with it, guys. And does price want to go ham? Does it want to give us? To be fair, 1 to 2s in this strategy probably work a lot better. They're going way more to 1 to 2 than 1 to 3. Do we have any opposing structure? Is it looking good? Is it not looking good? Are we going to get a 1 to 3? I don't want the trade to win. That's the funny thing. I want to show you guys how this can save you from losses, not taking... Oh, damn it. Okay. Funny enough how we're complaining that a trade won. But, okay. Let's just keep on going. Let's end the trading day right by there. And let's go next. Okay. Probably do one more day and then we'll leave it at that. And then you guys can go ahead and backtest this all you want and come and tell me how much less you're losing. And I'll be so glad to hear it, because you guys are so awesome and you're going to be so successful one day. All right then, what are we looking for? Well, I can see price hasn't broken anything. Oh, I stand corrected, it has broken. This is very shit structure, it's very disgusting, and I don't see any kind of bias by here, so I'm going to wait for a break. Okay, I got a break. However, I can see that the overall trend is still to the downside, because this is our trend defining point, because this is the... Is it the trend defining point? That's very annoying. It probably hasn't broken by there. That wick probably came right down by there. That is fine. Okay, sure. Awesome. Right then, I'm going to go ahead and take a... Depends what happens by this key level, really. Price is just ranging. Awesome. Let me see if I can take a retest. Okay. Aha. The first trade I could have taken was right by here. Why? Because price broke above and then price came in and tapped us in. Now we've got a tricky situation where I'm not talking strategy, but I'll just give you a little pointer. If this is the key level where until price travels above by here we're in a downtrend, how do we navigate this? Okay, because we can see by the wick there it still hasn't closed. Well, I'm either going to do nothing or I'm going to take a bet and say, okay, I can see that because price is trending upwards, it's probably more likely that it's going to keep coming up unless we see a massive amount of rejection by here. Okay, so that is what I would have done in the live markets. Stop loss right by there. Can we see anything? Nope. Price is probably going to go and hit stop loss. That probably would have triggered the 60% stop loss, to be honest with you. Let's just call it 60% by there. It probably was a little bit higher, to be real. Oh, I can actually work it out easily. Okay, divided by 5 is 10, so let's put 30 in there. Damn, I was just a little bit shy. Okay, so there are a few rules to this. You don't re-enter the trade if you see opposing structure. Okay, so if you see this happen like this, and you've noticed right now that, well, actually, you would have noticed quite early that this was opposing structure, right? So only until this candle by here. So you would have seen, aha, this looks like a lower high. So I'm going to set my stop loss to 40%, which is actually 20. Okay, wait for this to trigger, and then you're not going to be re-entering the trade, okay, if you see price making that opposing structure. Okay, so that goes down to 50. We took a almost full stop loss, and as I say that, oh, I stand corrected. I was going to say price came and gave us an entry and then did whatever. So that's why you don't want to enter when price does that. Okay, boom, and let's go ahead and tally up our losses for the day. So we've got a total of... So this is all 1R. So we have got, let's just call it, let's just work in tens. Okay, that's the easiest way. We work in tens. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, actually, let's call this 10. There we go. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we got a score of 50. Okay, we're going to call this 4. Why? Because it's 40%. We got 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, which is 16. And then we're going to call this 6 because it's 60% of 10. Oops, daisy. Okay, and then we had 6. So total by here was 50. So we have our score, which is 50 versus 16 at 6, 22. So, guys, you have almost halved the amount of losses that you've taken if you do something like this. And it's insane. It's absolutely insane, right? This is why I do this every single day. Because, well, the thing is, this is tested for me. Do you know what I mean? And you guys have got to test it yourself. But go ahead and test this. Primarily, it works best on the 5-minute time frame with the concept that I just explained. That's where it works the absolute best. If you want to go ahead and backtest that as I literally just did it, then go ahead. If it doesn't work for you, then I'm really sorry. There's probably a way you could figure out how to work for yourself. But, you know, I've been trading very differently to how you guys have been trading. So, but I'm very confident for the most of you, it probably will work. It definitely is going to work for a big portion of you. It just depends how you apply yourself and also how it kind of resonates with your trading style. If you follow the points that I told you, such as, you know, not re-entering the trade if your original setup is violated, not re-entering the trade if you see opposing structure, you know, not being sporadic with it, just entering and re-entering, being very patient when you go back to the, you know, to the entries, being very disciplined and honest, setting your stop loss to 60% in any situation will more than likely cause you to lose a lot less. The 40% is what will really save you. Also, when you're trading, if you are able to do something like this where your entry is very close to the key level and your stop loss is very far away, something like this, as opposed to, I don't know, doing something like this, okay, then you can just see the difference, okay? This is where the 40% and the 60% stop loss will fare you massively. Okay, but as you can see, we traded it perfectly. We just followed the same plan, and this is the result that we got. So guys, I hope you've massively enjoyed that. I hope you're able to take a massive piece of information from this and level up your trading to the big time. Please drop a like, comment, subscribe if this was able to help you. My name is JB, and I'm here to make every single trader a consistently profitable trader and chase their wildest dreams. Stop believing you guys can't do it. Stop thinking it's your fault, is this. The market is random. Find yourself an edge, and your value and your self-worth as a trader comes from your ability to handle the pressure and trade consistently, not in your results. That's it. I'm done for now. Have a great rest of your weekend, guys, and I'll see you soon. Take care. Peace.